UI patterns. These patterns center around the user interface, that portion of the program with which the user directly interacts. The presentation model pattern, a way to separate the logic of the user interface from its visual representation, creating an abstraction that can be tested independently of the UI. This allows the same logic to be reused across different views, useful for different platforms or even between different projects where only the visuals change. The view helper pattern, a way to introduce helper classes or components to encapsulate common presentation logic, keeping the view focused solely on rendering and user interactions. For instance, any of the various UI components inside a game engine or web builder. This practice can tightly couple view logic to the helper, which may or may not be desirable. The page controller pattern, a way to manage the logic of a single page or screen in an application. It handles input, manages navigation, and coordinates between objects and their representations. Used most often in web applications and game design. Scaling can become challenging as the number of pages grows, leading to duplicated logic across multiple controllers. The application controller pattern, a way of managing application-wide logic, such as navigation, user authentication, or error handling, decoupling these concerns from individual views or pages. It's used in applications where shared behavior needs to be managed globally, or where modularization of page controllers is necessary. This pattern can become a bottleneck or monolithic if too much responsibility is placed on the central controller. The front controller pattern. A single controller handles all requests, delegating them to appropriate handlers or controllers. This centralizes request handling and simplifies routing, akin to an information help desk. It's used in applications that require a unified entry point for all requests, such as applications with consistent pre-processing, like security checks or logins. This pattern is also highly vulnerable and can become a single point of failure if not careful. Complex routing logic can also make maintenance more difficult. Command Query Separation, or CQS. A principle that separates methods into commands that change state and queries that return data, ensuring each method does one or the other but not both. Used in applications where clarity and separation of concerns in UI behavior are important. It's particularly helpful in ensuring predictable state changes and enhancing testability. However, it can also lead to more verbose code and boilerplate, especially for simpler applications. Presentation Abstraction Controller, or PAC. A means of dividing an application into three distinct parts. Presentation groups input and visuals, abstraction groups logic and data, and control represents managers that communicate between the two. This pattern is used in complex, distributed systems where modularity and independent components are necessary, such as multi-tiered client-server applications. In some instances, it may be desirable to further split presentation and abstraction into their constituent parts. However, an overly complex hierarchy can make debugging more difficult. If there are any design patterns you think we missed, let us know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you stay up to date when we release new content. If you'd like to learn more about programming and game design, click on the link appearing on your screen now, or see the description below for ways you can help support this channel. Thanks, and take care.